Minnesota during the BLM riots, in New York and D.C. during Antifa, and on the border, facing the cartels and child traffickers head on. Now, she's here with you. This is the Sara Carter Show.
Hey everyone, welcome to Rumor, Scandal, or Truth with your host, Sara Carter. I'm really excited to have you here today. I am in Washington, D.C., and it's a beautiful day in Washington, D.C. Why? Not just because of the weather, but because President Trump is our president and he's in office, and our nation is heading in the right direction. And that direction is basically putting the power back into the hands of the American people and the small business owners and building up our economy, bringing manufacturing back to the United States, back to the Western Hemisphere. That is what our president is doing with a great, great team. But you know who helps our president? Do you know what happens behind the scenes? Let me tell you something. It's about Job Creators Network. It's my friend Alfredo Ortiz and his team, both their foundation and their for-profit organization, all the work that they do to ensure that small businesses have what they need to grow. And I got to tell you, I'm so excited to have him on the show. It's been a while since I've had him on. You will see him many times on Fox Business, on Fox News, and on many other networks. He is an expert in when he talks about economy, when he talks about, like I said, small business, and just what is happening in our country today. But first, let me tell you about an event that I'll be attending with Job Creators Network in Savannah, Georgia. And I'm so excited because it's going to be my first time in Savannah, Georgia, and I've been wanting to go for so long. Maybe I was there when I was a kid, but I can't remember. So this is going to be a big deal. I'm going to be there May 1st and May 2nd, and I'm going to be there with so many great folks, people from the Trump administration as well as others. I hope that you attend this event with me. Let me tell you a little bit about it. Once again, it's Job Creators Network. It's their annual Freedom Fighter Summit. We'll be spending 2 days discussing pressing issues that are facing our nation, some which I talk about on my podcast consistently to you all the time, and I hear from you all the time. With conservative luminaries leading America's political revolution, media stars, listen to this, like my friend Trish Reagan, Hugh Hewitt, Mike Gallagher, and of course, you know me, yours truly. Also, you'll hear from policy minds like Grover Norquist, Stephen Moore, I love Stephen Moore, along with members of the president's cabinet and members of Congress. And guess what? You can be there. You can be there too. All of this in one place, discussing the fights we're winning and need to win in Washington, D.C. and in the States. This isn't just any event, folks. You can attend this event. You can be there. This event is going to be, it's going to be intimate. It's going to be small. It's going to give you the opportunity to talk with me, to talk with the people that are making the big changes, that are following your directive because you're the boss. But this way, you'll have that kind of intimacy where you will be able to talk one-on-one. There are a limited number of seats available for this private event. It'll be great entertainment too, from SNL comedy legend Rob Schneider to music from Lee Greenwood, plus opportunities to, guess what, golf and tour Savannah. There's also some great spas in the area. I will be going to one of those. Maybe you can join me. To reserve your spot for this one-of-a-kind private event in beautiful Savannah, go to jcn2025summit.com. Use promo code Carter, that's CARTER, for a special discount. When you buy one ticket, you'll get the second for 50% off. A limited number of tickets, only 150 are available. Go to jcn2025summit.com now and get tickets before they sell out. That's jcn2025summit.com. Enter promo code Carter to take advantage of the special pricing for my listeners. I'm excited to be there, and I know you'll be too. Alfredo, I am so happy to have you on the show. It's been a while, my friend.
Yeah, it really has, Sara. Thank you so much. So excited to see you again.
Yeah, this is going to be great. I can't wait to get to Savannah. I am very excited to be a part of the JCN event. I know there's going to be so many folks there. And I really love the fact that this event is going to let us connect directly with the audience. Like, we're not going to have to feel like we're on stage and we're walking away. Like, we're going to be together for 2 full days, actually listening to the people that matter most, and that is the American people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there's going to be great conversation. We have 5 topics. Obviously, we want to make sure we have these great conversations that we need to have because we've got a lot of problems that we need to solve that Biden left us, right? So we've got some fixes. So we're going to be focused in talking about extending the Tax and Jobs Act, for example. Small businesses need those tax cuts, super, super critical. We're going to be talking about deregulation. I mean, almost $2 trillion of regs were placed on the economy under the Biden administration. We got to start getting ourselves out of that. So that's a really, really important topic. We're going to talk about education freedom. Thank God that President Trump believes in school choice and education freedom. He's given a directive to Linda McMahon to dismantle the Department of Education and get that back out to the states and to the parents. We need to do this. We're going to be talking about that. Super important as well. We're going to be talking about debt and the deficit. Charlie Gasparino is going to be leading that discussion. This is a serious issue for our country. I mean, we have almost $38 trillion in debt. We've got to do something, and Doge is doing a lot to that to get rid of that. And then, of course, we're talking about the Hispanic vote, which is a big part of why you're going to be coming on to help us talk about that and the importance of continuing that Hispanic vote that Trump got 46%. We got to make sure we keep those numbers up.
I think those numbers are going to continue to grow. That's my opinion, just based on what I'm seeing. And especially because the Hispanic population in the United States is the fastest growing population in the US and, frankly, the most conservative.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think when, the word really gets out, and, they see these criminals, true criminals that are being deported out of our country, this is a good thing for the Hispanic community. And they wanted this. They wanted that to actually happen because they were terrorizing their own communities. These, MS-13 gang members, and you and I go back a ways talking about this in terms of how they would terrorize these Hispanic communities. And so these actions are super important that President Trump is putting forth. And I'm very excited. I know the community is excited about it as well. Of course, the left tries to fearmonger everyone, saying, the Grandma Julia and Grandpa Julio are going to be deported and stuff like that. But look, he's focused on the most heinous criminals, illegals that are here in this country and that are here to commit crimes that really hurt our American citizens.
Right. And if Grandpa Julio and Grandma Julia were committing the crimes and they were part of MS-13, then maybe they will get deported. But I don't think the innocent Grandpa Julio or Grandma Julia, who is even going to be in that mix, unless they are, of course, the focus is the most dangerous criminals right now.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about Job Creators Network. When it got started, I remember with Bernie Marcus, I had the opportunity one time to actually meet him, and I was with you, and it was so exciting. And Linda was with me, and we all went to the club and had his famous Reuben sandwich that he loves so much. And I just remember him being such an incredible man. I mean, what a visionary! What an incredible businessman.
Yeah, I mean,
Home Depot.
I mean, really incredible. I mean, this has been an honor of my life, really, to be able to work. To have worked with him. As you know, he passed November of 2024, just the day before President Trump got elected. We like saying to ourselves that he knew that President Trump was going to get elected and that his job was done on this earth. So that's why he left us at that time. But he really left an amazing legacy. I mean, a true philanthropist. I mean, I can't even go through the list of philanthropy that's so long of what he was involved in. But, autism was a big part of it. Free enterprise, obviously, with Job Creators Network. This organization was founded by him 15 years ago. I've actually been doing this for 13, and I'm going on my 14th year, which is kind of crazy to think. So I must have been doing something right. I guess that Bernie kept me along this long. So, but those are big shoes to fill now, and that's why this event for us is also so important. It's called, the theme is passing the torch, because we got to make sure that people understand that just because Bernie's body passed, his vision still is going to be alive and well and still kicking. And we are committed to make sure that that vision stays true and alive the way he would have wanted it to be.
Let's talk a little bit about that, because, I'm seeing all of these protests and obviously protesting Elon Musk, protesting, big business CEOs. You see, from the radical left tax the rich, tax the rich. But without the rich, we wouldn't have
Yeah.
the innovation, the jobs, the growth, a better economy. People work because of innovators like Bernie Marcus,
Yep.
because of innovators like Elon Musk, like you and others who are out there every single day,
Yeah.
16, 18-hour days,
Yeah.
sometimes just constantly working. This is not about taxing the rich and all of this crazy Bernie Summercamp Sanders is all about, and Breadline Sanders. But this is about really creating a nation where you can be Bernie Marcus.
Yeah.
If you want to work hard enough, if you have a great idea, you can be anybody you want to be, right?
Yeah.
Unless we rip that away and become communists.
Yeah, and that's absolutely, and that is really what Bernie was fighting for with the creation of Job Creators Network. He remembered what it was like to be a small business. Yes, Home Depot was a small business. He started with
Right.
two refurbished 7-Elevens in Atlanta. At the age of 55 is when he opened them. So think about that. He got fired at 52, and he opened his first two stores, refurbished 7-Elevens at 55 in Atlanta. And so, the rest is history. 450,000 employees from Home Depot. I think it's created more millionaires than I can think of. But that's great, right? That's what we love about this American economy, about entrepreneurialism and capitalism. I mean, unfortunately, the left has given capitalism such a bad name. Capitalism is the number one way that has pulled the poor out of poverty, and entrepreneurialism. And so we need to make sure we defend, and that's what Job Creators Network is about. It's defending these policies that help small businesses succeed, and to make sure that we have a voice at the table in DC and in other places across state capitals to make sure that people understand how important small businesses are. So I'm actually excited, for example, that Kelly Loeffler is the SBA administrator. I know her well, and I'll be working alongside with her to make sure that the voice of small business is well represented.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to ask you, because a lot of times people are like, well, how can I get ideas for my small business? A lot of people don't know that they can apply for certain loans, or that
Right.
they could do specific things within their community. They have no concept they have the idea, but they have no concept of
Right.
how to put that idea into action. As the CEO of JCN, what do you offer for the everyday person that is thinking about starting their own small business?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest things we can do is what I call kind of more of a macro thing, is really making sure, for example, the Tax and Jobs Act extension. If there's one thing that we do this year, is to make sure, for example, that gets extended, because that is such a huge opportunity for our small business owners. Helping them keep more money that they make to invest back in their businesses is so critical. And so extending that is going to be one of our number one duties that we're going to be trying to do. But, outside of that, I've got some ideas that I talked to Kelly Loeffler about, which is those regional SBA offices, for example. We can make them work harder for our small businesses. Sarah, during the first year, 20% of our small businesses actually fail. And I looked into why that reason is. The number one reason, they don't know how to write a business plan. That's simple. Right? We should make sure that all the SBA offices do exactly that. They actually teach the fishermen how to fish, teach our small business owners, our future entrepreneurs, how to be an actual successful entrepreneur. Let's bring down the rate of failure, for example, from 20% to 10% through education. And guess what? We'll create millions of new small businesses that employ millions and millions of American hard workers.
I think that's incredible. And when you think about the SBA now getting people back, you and I talked about this before, getting people back into the SBA, like the workers, from being at home and working at home. When you first walked into the building in DC, and we were laughing about it, it was like a complete ghost town.
I know.
Before President Trump.
Yep.
There was but it still had employees. They just weren't in the office.
Yeah.
Since COVID.
Which is crazy. It's crazy.
So what's going on? I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I know Kelly Loeffler has, I think they've announced a workforce reduction there at the SBA, which is right, because it's a DC office. I mean, that was something that I was actually talking about, is let's just close down the DC office. Because Sarah, I mean, imagine this, You got some guy in Dubuque, Iowa, that's a budding entrepreneur and goes, I want to open my own small business. I think I'm going to pop on a flight, go up to the SBA offices in DC, walk through the halls, and try to find somebody that's going to help me. I'm like,
Well, if they went during the Biden administration, they would have they would be
oh yeah,
so out of
they'd be
luck.
locked. Yeah, I'm
There would have been a
in.
lot of empty offices.
But that just doesn't happen. Let's make sure that we go out where the people are. Those regional offices should be like innovation centers, entrepreneurship centers, right? We need to promote. We need to give the tools to these budding entrepreneurs to become successful small business owners, because they're the growth engine of our country. We all know what it felt like when they shut down during COVID. So we got to make sure that we do everything we can to fight for our small businesses. I mean, they employ 2/3 of new job growth, Sarah, remember, is through
Wow.
small business, 2/3.
Well, and I think that the small business owners felt very abandoned under the
100%.
last administration. And I also believe that our big corporations have also felt the brunt force and the brutal force of the Biden administration and these leftist tactics. What are you seeing as the biggest changes overall, like in our economy during the Trump administration? I mean, is
Yeah.
it getting the pipelines open again? Is it bringing manufacturing back to the United States?
Yeah.
Are we going to suffer a little bit right now with all of these Doge cuts and then, kind of bounce back? What are you seeing?
So it's yes, yes, and yes. Is the answer. So yes, I'll start with the last part. We are going to feel a little bit of pain, as with everything, right? When you have to rebuild something that's broken so poorly, there is going to have to be a little bit of pain, and we're going to feel that. But I think they've got the plan in place to make sure that that pain is mitigated, it's minimized. Right away, they're addressing the energy issue. I think you and I talked about energy has to be the number one issue they address, because that flowed through every single cost throughout every single aspect of our economy. So when you bring the cost of energy down, you start bringing the cost of everything, and you start deflating prices. But alongside with deflationary period, which is in this particular case something we need, because we've got to stop that inflation, because that will bring down all of our interest rates as well and make housing more affordable, everything in our life more affordable. But we also have to then get that tax cut passed, right? Because along with it, we need economic activity. You can't have our gross domestic product, our GDP, just stop because we're deflating the economy from a pricing aspect. We also got to have economic activity, right? Which is why these small businesses are so important, which is why we need to make sure we have to have these tax cuts to stimulate the growth in small business, right? So we got to do those simultaneously. He's doing that. He's doing that with Kelly Loeffler. He's doing it with Lee Zeldin on the deregulatory front. I mean, this is so, so important on the energy side. I mean, I am so excited to see what's happening there from an energy perspective. It's exactly what we need to be doing.
Yeah, me too. And especially with deregulation and everything that's going to come along with that.
Yeah.
And just holding our adversaries accountable too.
Yeah.
I mean, these tariffs are for a reason. And there is definitely a message that he is sending loud and clear across the globe to all of our partners and to all of our partners who may be our adversaries. He's letting them know we're not going to take it anymore.
Yeah,
right.
That's absolutely right. And I mean, like I said, there might be some hiccups, right? There might be some hiccups in the supply chain or some cost increase and stuff like that. So, but I think, like I said, they've got the plan to address that. I actually think we're going to find that time frame to be very, very small. It's going to be kind of narrowed, because I think really he's using it as he does. He's the great negotiator. He knows that we are the largest consumption economy in the world, period. Every other economy needs the American consumer. And if they want market share, for example, they're going to have to make sure that they either eat those tariffs, right? Or they're going to have to somehow subsidize their companies that sell these products to the American consumer to make sure that they don't lose market share. Because a lot of these people,
well, we're already seeing some of these companies acquiesce and say, "Oh, well, we're going to move everything to America now."
Everything here, right? Which is exactly what I think his intent was. We're trying to drive American workers, right? The creation of American jobs, and that's what we're seeing with Hyundai. Just announced, I think, a $20 billion investment. I mean, it's happening because companies. It makes sense, right? It just makes business sense to move their companies, to move their production here now, and that means American workers. And so this is all a good thing, but it has to happen fast, because if we let one thing kind of happen and then the other later, it just doesn't work that way.
Right. I agree with you on that. Well, I know we want all of you to join us at the JCN Summit. It's not like any other conservative summit anywhere in the country. If there's only one, you need to go to this one. Let's talk about that a little bit. Talk about maybe some of the people that are going to be there. I'm really excited about Rob Schneider. It's going to be so funny. I can't wait to meet him and hang out with him for a little bit. But I think Linda McMahon may be there and some others, right?
Yeah, I mean, outside of these great, policy discussions that we're going to have, we're also going to have some fun. I think conservatives forget that it's okay for us to have fun. It's okay to, maybe dance a little bit, right? Eat some good food.
We're a lot of fun.
Right? I mean, it's okay to have some fun. And so we're going to have some fun alongside with some great discussion with luminaries like yourself of the conservative movement. And really just people are going to understand, how they can actually make a difference. Look, this is meant to be a small event because I like it that way. I don't like going to events where it's thousands and thousands and thousands of people and you just sit way out there somewhere and look at the people up there and go, it sure would be nice if I could have some conversation. The whole intent is to be able to have conversation between the people on the panels and the audience. And the people on the panels will hear real Americans talking about the issues and their perspectives. And this doesn't happen usually. And so especially with this kind of panels that we've got, with the kind of people we've got, it's usually reserved for thousands people. We've kept it very, very intimate on purpose.
Well, right. I'm looking right now. You've got a limited number of seats. There's only 100 left available.
Yep.
I've been able to get a very special promotional offer for my listeners who go and they put in Carter, Carter. I'm going to tell you exactly where to go to reserve your spot for this very private event. I want you to go to JCN 2025 Summit, SUMMIT.com. You use promo code Carter, Carter, and you're going to receive 50% off the price of your second ticket when you buy one ticket. You're going to be in one of the most beautiful cities in the country. I can't wait to go. Like I said, this is my first time.
Okay.
And I know it is because I've had so many friends and family in Savannah, so many beautiful stories written about Savannah, Georgia. It's one of the oldest cities in our nation. There are a limited number of spots. Right now, there's only 100 left. Only 100.
Yep.
And those are available for this special and unique trip. And remember, if you put in Carter, that's Carter, and you use that promo code, you're going to get 50% off your second ticket. So that's really important, right, Alfredo?
It really is. And yes, if people get there even, let's say a little earlier, there's going to be some golfing. There's some things we've arranged for people that are interested in doing it. They can buy, golfing, spas, a food tour, a ghost tour. I mean, we want to make sure that people not only learn a lot and get educated, but they have some fun as well.
I'm excited about the food, spa, and ghosts. So I will be there. I'm not very good at golf, but I can try. Anyways, thank you so much for being with us, Alfredo. I can't wait to be there.
Yeah.
May 1st and 2nd, folks. May 1st and 2nd. I'm going to read it one more time so that you put in this promo code. It is going to be so much fun. You'll get to join me there, and you'll get to join so many other conservative luminaries at the event. I want you to go to JCN2025summit.com. I want you to use promo code Carter, Carter, very easy, to receive 50% off the price of your second ticket when you buy one. Thanks so much, Alfredo. I know Bernie would be so proud of everything that you're doing. I was so blessed to even just meet him that one time. He's truly a remarkable American and somebody that I look up to. Folks, please make sure you're subscribed to the Sara Carter Show on your favorite podcast app. We really appreciate it. Follow me on Truth at Sara Carter Official, on X at Sara Carter DC, and on Instagram at SCarterDC. God bless you. God bless our great nation. God bless JCN. God bless President Trump in Washington, D.C., and God bless the great state of Texas.